did you have those moments when you were reading? Because you are also extremely sensitive as a human being. Did you have those moments when it was being narrated to you?
While reading the script, of course, I watched it as a film in my head, and it sort of like went as a breeze. But while shooting for it, of course, it took a toll on, like the crying has to come from somewhere. And a film like this, you can't really cry or laugh or feel emotional from just the actor point, you need to take it from your heart. So I sort of like, that took me a little, like Vikasa says, like every shot of me when I was supposed to cry, I would go. So there's like a meter that I have while, crying generally. I reach to the fourth and the fifth, point, and post the fifth point, there's no like stopping. I'll just end up crying like non-stop, right? So, Vikasa was like, every time you reach that fifth point, I'll just stop you. Because he figured out on the second and the third time he made me do it. And he's like, I can't take this girl crying because, it's really painful. So, I'm just like that while shooting. It was a little, coming from the heart, and it was like exhausting. And, I like getting too emotional on set because I just feel like the actors and the director and the crew makes the energy on set, and I don't like it going down in any which way. But while reading the script though, it went like a breeze, and I love the concept. I wanted to do a film like this, and I wanted it to be one of my first. And
how do you handle death and grief in life? Is there a defense that you've already found in life?
I think the closest person that I've lost so far is my grandmom, who sort of like brought me up because my parents were sort of like traveling every time I was back home when I was a child. And I lost her just before I got her into the industry, like debuted with my first film. And she was the closest to me in my family. And I had lost her, and I've realized after that my dealing with death is extremely different than what I thought it would be. I thought I'd be like, drained in tears, like, just like not eating, not, just disconnected from the world. But surprisingly, I was angry. Like the only time I genuinely got angry from my heart was when she passed. I was like, I didn't shed a tear. It was just like so much anger which had built up, and I was like, no, this is, it was that, but that's the only time I dealt with anger as an anger, so that was my defense, I think, with grief and death and everything. And I don't know, like maybe tomorrow something else would happen, and I don't know how I'll react to it, because this is something which we generally don't think about. But every time of course, there was a part of me when I was shooting for the film, and I was like, how am I going to deal about my parents not being here anymore? And I don't know. I feel numb about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to react to it yet.
I feel that you're one of those people who can make everybody in the room smile even when you're going through the deepest, sorry for using this word, deepest shit in your own life. And that's a talent, that's a rarity in today's times. How do you manage to do that? How?
I've realized that being happy and being kind is so not normal now. Like, just being happy is an effort that people put in, in this generation or in our lives, that it's just easy. And I know that everyone is dealing with something or the other in their own lives. And I don't want to be this person who's throwing off attitude or throwing out of negativity and make it harder for them. I want to, like, everyone who talks to me, everyone who works with me, everyone who spends time with me, when you talk to someone and you feel better.
True.
I want to be that person. I don't want to drain people out.
There's so many things happening. Sometimes you say that you can deal with the negativity, but sometimes I just get to a point where your mom, dad, and your sister, they get affected with whatever is happening.
Yes. So, see, I've grown up in a hostel also. So for me, staying away from my parents were never a problem, because you stay 8 months in the hostel and the rest of the time you get to go back home in the holiday, right? So for me, that was never a problem. But constantly staying away for so long, and after your sister happened, and you've literally, like, when she was born, I would feed her, I would, change her diapers, I would bathe her. I was a second mama. So to move from that to now not being able to see her grow up was a little painful. And of course, when there's like negativity wrapped around, there's these phases where something happens and, negativity starts forming and all of that. And like you said, I don't have a family which is out of a film and everything. So it was really hard, I think, initially for my parents to sort of like get adjusted, because I think there was a point in which my mom thought industry was something which we had control over. Whatever we want to do, we can do in the industry. And she had to learn it in a hard way that that wasn't right. And no matter what your family does, at the say, you're an actor, you're the artist, you're the face. So that'll come on you.
Yeah.
Whatever they say, whatever they do, that
True.
comes on you. And now we've figured out ki, you know what, you're not from the industry. So don't involve yourself in the industry because you can't take so much. We're from Coog.
Yeah.
We don't have so much of a broad mind. So you guys live your life. This is your life. Don't let this go because this is not easy. You live a comfortable, happy life. If my sister wants to get into the films or, any industry later on, she still has a long way to go.
Yeah.
Let me do my thing because I am an artist. This is my life. This is my journey. Let me make my own choices. Don't try to control over my life because the world is not the way you think
True.
it is.
True.
It's so much bigger. It's so much harder. So I had to give that lesson being a daughter and being an artist.
Yeah, they do learn a lot from the kids.
They have to. They have to because the generation gap, the mentality and they're born and brought up in Coog, and Coog is such place that everyone knows everyone there, and that is just a small community. So the second you come out of there and you face the world slaps you on your face and says, you're nobody here. You're just like this small particle in this big wild world.
True.
So they had to learn it in a hard way because back in Coog, they have everything that they want. They have the money, they have, they walk out of the house and they're waving at everyone. They're those kind of people. But out there in the world, that doesn't happen. It's not graceful enough.
True.
So I had to teach them that, and they learned it now, and they're comfortable in their lives, and they're taking care of my sister. My parents are happy. Here I am as an artist trying to figure out my life and how I am about in the world. So yeah, it was a journey and a lesson for all of us.
We've suddenly come to terms with the pan-India content and pan-India the word right now. Even last time when we were doing that interview, Pushpa hadn't released.
Yeah.
So that whole breeze had not happened.
Yeah.
Today, do you find that, you were talking about how you have had to shift from one industry to the other. Do you feel that today we are living at a point where all those lines are blurred? That today when you can do this, you're doing a Sita Ramam, you're doing another film, you're doing this, that, for different industries.
I feel like I'm a multi-regional actor.
That.
Now from pan-Indian actor, I've become a multi-regional actor because I love this. I think this is the best time in the industry to be in. The lines are blurring, the languages are becoming, one. Everyone from every corner of the country is watching our films and celebrating our films openly, which is amazing because I think there was this point where people loved the film, but they wouldn't celebrate the film.
True.
Now they're openly celebrating it,
True.
which is amazing. And I'm though doing a Tamil film, doing a Telugu film, doing a Kannada film, doing a Hindi film. I'm very happy.
Fab.
I like sort of like learning that language, sort of like, dubbing in that language, shooting in that language. So I think I'm a multi-regional actor.
Absolutely. And why not? But one thing that this movie teaches, I do it now for quite some time. And I know that it's going to teach that to a generation, that we really need to get up and tell our mom and dad that, we love you. We love you to be here. We love you for who you are. And we don't do that enough. We really need to spend a lot more time with them because we are growing up and they're growing old, which is a very, very sad reality.
But also, do you realize that not just parents, but keep it your best friend from school or anyone, who you once connected to in your life, just a random call or just a random message will actually make their heart happy.
That's true.
Just to hear their voice one more time, because, there was this point where one of my seniors from school, suddenly, who I was quite close to back in school, after that we hadn't spoken to in a long time, but suddenly I heard this news ki he passed. And he was like, what? He's 20, he would be 26 this year. So I'm like, no, 28 this year. I'm 26. Okay. But it was just so sudden that I was like, my God, each of our lives are so important that whoever you're close to, whoever you want to connect to, are connected with, please make them a call or a voice note or, a message, because it's important.
Absolutely, it is. And I feel it's important to be kind and affectionate and sensitive towards other people's emotions. That's possibly something that I know that you do really, really well. That's possibly something that my mother has taught me to do well. I just feel that we live in a stage where that is often judged and shamed and people find it to be fake, but you cannot fake 365 days in your life. So people really need to know that. And thank you for this lovely conversation. I said that it's not going to be an interview. I just didn't want it to be.
It wasn't.
Thank you.
Access over 1,000 resources to improve your English faster. Everything's in one place.